Today I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to beat Baldur's Gate 3 in solo honor mode. It works for any class and requires no special setup except the mask of the shapeshifter from the deluxe edition, which we will need for a few parts of this run. If you don't have it, you can use Scroll of Disguise Self, or just pick in the spells. After creating your TAF, you start on the Nautiloid. There's nothing too tricky here, it's basically just a corridor where you run forward, kill everything that moves and loot everything inside. Okay. If the dice like you, us will run alongside you. If they don't, it will attack you alongside its new friend, another intellect devourer. A little trick is to grab the explosive barrels, one next to Shadowheart and 3 in the final fight of the prologue. You will use them to blow up the elite at the end for an extra 75 experience. Also, if you're playing a class that uses two-handed weapons, you can prepare command on Shadowheart and have 2 attempts with a 55% chance to make the devil drops his sword. If you really want the sword, it's worth doing a quick rerun if you miss it. Getting to this point only takes about 3 minutes. Once you park the Nautiloid and hit the witch, pick everything you see. You need every bit of gold you can get, because your early game expenses will be pretty hefty. Especially if you're relying on elixirs of heal, giant strength. Quick tip, loot absolutely everything and make sure you grab all your companions' scroll of revive fee. Those sell for a good amount. Almost immediately after the prologue, you'll face a rather unpleasant fight against 2 or, if you engaged badly, 3 intellect devourers. They hit extremely hard, both in melee and at range. At range, they deal psychic damage, about 7 per hit, which means they can theoretically kill you in a single turn. That's exactly why you vacuumed up every drop of experience on the Nautiloid, to make sure you hit level 2. For a level 1 character, this fight is very likely to end in death. Little tip, if you're playing a melee class, the easiest way to deal with these brains is to fight from the bridge above the battlefield. As soon as you pull them, use your first turn to climb on the bridge. From there, shoot down at them and then hide. This way they can't reach you or shoot back. It works on any class. I'm pretty sure everyone who's tried a solo run has died here at least once. Smash the like if this slimy little bastard sent you all the way back to the Nautiloid. Okay, after killing all these brains, you press on. Things are fairly straightforward here, you don't have many options. You just run forward and your main goal is to gather as much XP as possible. Loot everything that isn't nailed down. Find all the starting companions, Gale, Astarion, and either free Lizelle or fight for her. If you're lucky, grab treasure under the rock near Astarion. Kill those 2 unlucky fools by shooting the hanging stone block above them. Grab a shovel, dig up a hole, and then move to one of the toughest fights of this stage. This is Goblin fight in front of the Emerald Grove. One handy trick, use the mask of the shapeshifter to turn into a small creature, because goblins deal bonus damage to medium and tall targets. Keep your distance from the main battle and slowly pick off the goblins you can reach. Watch your mirror die yet again. And if you get extremely unlucky and the goblins roll a bunch of crits, this fight can turn into an absolute bloodbath where everyone dies except Zevlor and, hopefully, you. Loot all the corpses. When looting lies bodies, use hide, otherwise someone will run over and accuse you of stealing. After that, go for the amulet that grants bless. Stick your hand into the spider pit. Be careful, if you fail the dice roll, the spider will crawl and start a fight, which isn't very pleasant. Next, head back into the grove and talk to everyone in your path. All that chatter gives you a little experience. Sell all your junk to Iron and buy whatever you need from him. Make sure you pick up a couple of fire arrows and 1 arrow of darkness. You'll need it literally in a few minutes. Then run over to the Tieflings, speak to Ethel and buy potions you need from her. Defend the goblin prisoners near the jail, then go to Donik, who's standing next to the hole. You need to spot that hole, or another one bit further away, to reach Mo. Walk past the druids, picking whatever dialogue option you like. If you have the free Speak with Animals potion from the deluxe edition, you can drink it even earlier. If not, buy one from Volo. Volo also sells one of the best rings for the early game, that's exactly why we needed so much money. Talk to animals, choose the beer of the elevator, then go to Alfira. Try to learn musical performance from her and grab the lute for free. If you're playing Dark Urge, visiting Alfira is a must, but you probably already know that. Next, head to Kaga. Save Arabella, talk to Kaga, take her quest to speak Devourer and steal her chest. Or just directly steal everything inside it.
You are stealing?
Talk to Nettie, swear the oath and promise you'll kill yourself if things go wrong. Yeah, sure. Now you steal the idol. Here is how. Shoot an arrow of darkness at the base of the pedestal the idol sits on. Step into the darkness, hit hide, enter turn-based mode, climb on the pedestal, steal the idol, exit turn-based mode, and immediately fast travel to camp straight from the inside the darkness. There is a small chance the druid might start slaughtering the tieflings. I've only had that happen once in several dozens or more runs. From camp, use fast travel to go to the Emerald Grove, go to Mall, hand over the idol and receive your ring. Don't forget to talk to Arabella's parents, talk to Devourer, tell him you will kill the goblins, or Kaga, and buy everything you need, items like healing potions and thieves' tools. Next you head into the goblin cave. Remember that goblins deal bonus damage to non-small targets, so if you aren't small, it's best to disguise yourself as something small, so you don't, God forbid, die. They can dish out a lot of extra damage. You can beat them fairly, or you can cheese the fight using the statue. It's not particularly difficult, just hit, run and kite. Just make sure you don't blow yourself up on the statue. After the fight, grab the barrels near the trapped chest so they don't accidentally explode, loot everything off the goblins, and rescue the poor sod by throwing a small heal at him. In stealth mode, disarm the other two statues, pick up the key, head back, and open the chest. Your business here is done. Follow the path further and you'll encounter Bryn and her balding friend, as well as the dying true soul. Tell them to just go somewhere else. The Owlbear isn't their problem. Put everything off the dead true soul and head to the Owlbear. You need to be careful here, always have a plan B, like an invisibility potion or something that lets you escape, because you can fail the dice roll in dialogue with her and she will attack. Don't forget to check if you've got a Speak with Animals effect active. If not, grab the potion before the conversation. It's in another part of the same cave, next to a crate. In the dialogue, pass the DC 10 check, take Silvanus' treasure and everything lying around, then leave the cave. Now you need to find Scratch. Head to Scratch, picking up everything along the way. Talk to him, tell him his friend has passed away for good, but you can take him in. After that, head to the Blighted Village. Again, looting everything on your past. Before entering, I recommend using Disguise Self to turn into a drow. This will make every dialogue as smooth as possible. That's the end of part 1 of the guide. To be continued. Thank you for watching. Part 2 is almost ready. Follow, subscribe, like. I love you.